everyone, it's Miss Vanessa here at Huntington Valley Library. Today we are going to be doing a squishy soap tutorial. If you were one of the lucky people to pick up a kit, you won't have to do all the measuring that I'm going to be doing. But if you got the ingredients on your own and you're going to be doing this at home, I'm going to still measure everything out so that anyone can do this craft. And those ingredients and all the items you need are going to be in the information posted along with this video. So this should be a really fun STEM craft. We are making squishy soap, which is so cool. I'm actually really excited to do this. I haven't done it yet, so let's go ahead and get started. The first step always is going to be to wash your hands and wash anything that you are using. Make sure that you have a nice clean surface to work on because we're going to be kneading on that later with your soap, and you don't want to knead on a dirty surface. That will get anything you're kneading, whether it's soap or bread dough or anything else. If you don't have a clean surface to work on, what you're making is going to get gross, and you don't want that. So make sure that you've cleaned off your space. I washed my hands already and washed down my surface. If you haven't done those things, pause the video, do that, and then start again. Okay, first step. The main ingredient in our squishy soap is cornstarch. So I'm just going to be using some regular cornstarch, and we need half a cup. I actually have a 1/4 cup measure here because it's easier for me to get it out of the container in the 1/4 cup measure. So I'm going to be doing 2 1/4 cups to make 1/2 cup. And what's going to help me with this is I'm going to be leveling off my cup measure with a knife. Just a regular butter knife works, and you want to use that flat edge. You don't want to use the edge that you would cut something with. You want to use the flat edge. Alright, so I am now getting my cornstarch out of here, and you can see that's heaped up quite a bit and some just spilled. Cornstarch is messy, very messy. I'm just leveling that off, so now it's nice and level, and into my bowl it goes. So that's 1/4 cup, and we need 1/2 cup, so I need one more. And there's the rest of it. Ooh, a little bit splashed out. Like I said, cornstarch is messy, and it likes to go where it wants to go, not always where you want it to. So I have 1/2 cup of cornstarch in here. I have a spoon ready to go when I add my next ingredients. I'm just going to give this a quick stir to begin with. Okay, so the next ingredient that we're going to add is our oil. I am going to be using sweet almond oil. This is from Premium Nature. I actually have 2 containers of it here because I don't have too much left. I don't know if there's 4 teaspoons in there. So we need 4 teaspoons of the oil. I'm just going to measure that out. It might take me a little longer since there's not much left in the bottle. That's 1, 2, 3. Oh, we might make it. And 4. If you have an almond allergy, do not use almond oil. I feel like that goes without speaking. I'm sure most of you who have an allergy know that you should not do that. But just in case, please do not use almond oil if you have an almond allergy. You can substitute with olive oil. Let's see, what are the other ones? Avocado or grapeseed oil should all work just as well. So let's give that a little mix. They might also be easier to find if you want to do this at home on your own. Okay, so we gave that a quick stir, and the next thing that we need is some soap. So I'm going to be using pure castile soap, and we need 1/8 of a cup of soap. So if you don't know, there are 4 tablespoons in 1/4 of a cup. So 1/8 of a cup is going to be 2 tablespoons. So I'm putting 2 tablespoons. My soap doesn't want to open like that. I'm going to be putting 2 tablespoons of liquid soap, mine is pure Castile, in the mixture. So 1 tablespoon of soap. That one overflowed just a little bit. A little extra soap should be fine. And 2 tablespoons of soap. Okay. So I'm going to mix up my cornstarch with my liquid ingredients. Get that incorporated. Now, for those of you who got a kit, you will have seen that you have 3 different colors to choose from. If you are adding color to your soap and you want to do more than 1 color, you're going to want to separate your mixture at this point. So I'm going to move some of this stuff to the side, and I'm going to separate my mixture into 2 bowls. I'm going to put a smaller amount in this bowl, and I'm going to keep the larger amount in this one. Okay, for our coloring, we are using Saks liquid watercolors. I have one that's red violet. I'm going to add that to this one, and with any color, whether it's food dyeing or our soap dyeing, usually you only need a few drops because that color is going to incorporate the more you mix things around. And you can always add more if the color doesn't look good enough to you. So at this point, you might want to stop using your spoon because it's getting a bit thicker. And you might want to move on to mixing with your hands, which is so fun. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get my color incorporated into this one. It's still a bit sticky, but it is coming together. And my color's pretty light right now. I don't even know if you can tell that there's much color in that. So I'm going to add just a couple more drops of my color to this. Let's do 3 more. Okay. I'm going to mix that all around. See if I can get more purple in there. Right now it was looking pretty pink, but I want it to be a little more purple. So my soap is still kind of separated. You want to try and get that into a ball. See if you can work your soap around the sides and collect any of that extra cornstarch and any other materials that are in here. And I'm not even having to push that hard. This is just cleaning the bowl for me. So now you're going to move on to kneading. And I want just a little more color. And this might get my hands a little bit dirty, so I'm going to put the color on the inside and mix it like that a little bit. Actually, until the color is incorporated, to be on the safe side, I'm going to put it back in the bowl because I don't want to get that all over our table here. So this is the fun part, in my opinion. Mixing it around. You want to keep kneading that ball of soap with your hands. Just keep working it. You can work it either on the table or in your hands like this till it becomes a nice, workable ball and it's not so sticky anymore. It's not sticking to my hands anymore, which means we're just about where I want it to be. So I'm going to collect any little bits that were left on the table. And I have one ball of squishy soap, which is kind of pink. Didn't come out the purple I wanted, but that's okay. I have one ball of pink squishy soap. So now I'm going to make the other, I'm going to make a smaller ball, and this one's still sticky and gooey, and I'm going to go ahead and put my color in there. This other color I'm using is yellow-green. So I'm just going to add like 3 or 4 drops of color into that one and see if I can get this all incorporated. You can't see this one as well, so I'm going to try and hold my bowl. It's still pretty sticky. I think if you have it and it's too sticky and it doesn't come together, although this one's starting to, then you will need to add more cornstarch. But I don't think we're going to have to do this. The more you work it, the less sticky it becomes. So just keep moving that around. Mine is starting to get less and less sticky. Still sticking to my fingers, but the more that I work it, the more that that cornstarch is working. And the cornstarch is starting to solidify. So try to see if you can get it all together. This one's much stickier than the other one was. So just keep working it, keep stirring, keep mixing it with your hands, whichever you're doing at this point. I probably could have stirred this one with a spoon a little bit longer, but hey, I like getting my hands a little messy every once in a while when I'm doing these activities. It's just more fun that way. So I'm going to see if I can start rolling this, get it less and less sticky, because right now this one is pretty sticky. The first one worked so well, and now I'm making a big, huge mess. All right. Keep working it. Many times with materials like this, it will get less sticky the more you go on. But you just have to keep working it. And eventually that stickiness will come off your hands too, actually. But you have to keep working it until the liquid gets dried up by the cornstarch. I can tell some parts of it are getting there. But it does like sticking to my hands. I don't know about you. I don't know how yours is coming along. Yours might have come together quicker than this smaller one has for me. Okay, there we go. Starting to get less sticky. It's grabbing the little pieces off of my hands to incorporate into the ball. The more I work it, you can see those little pieces are just coming off and sticking onto the ball instead. So I have one nice ball there. I am just going to rub my hands back and forth to get the parts that are still stuck to my hands into the bowl and onto the table instead. And also when I'm done with this, if you still have parts stuck to your hands, remember that it's soap. That's what we're going to be using it for anyway, so you can just wash your hands with it, with whatever is remaining. So now I'm going to take my soap around the piece that's already come together. I'm just moving it around in the bowl to try and collect the other pieces that are still in the bowl. And this one's coming together. It just took a little longer than the first one. And like I said, if you wanted to make that process go a little bit quicker, you could always add more cornstarch, but you don't want it to be too much cornstarch and not much of the oil or the soap, especially not. You don't want to miss out on that soap. That's the important bit. Okay. So now that I've got this pretty well together, there we go. I'm gonna move it onto the table, pick up some of these little green pieces of my squishy soap that I rubbed off my hands. Like I said, this is why we want a nice clean surface, because you don't want anything. You can pick up what went onto the table and put it into the rest of your ball and mix it together. And then I have a nice small green ball of squishy soap, which is really fun. It feels really nice. From the instructions that I have, I didn't come up with this craft myself. The instructions that I have say that when you go to use it as soap, you can just take off a little piece like that and rub it around in your hands, and then you can use it as soap with some water, of course, and wash your hands with it like that. I think it would be kind of fun. I'm going to try and swirl these together. I don't know how well that's going to work, but I'm going to see if I can swirl my two parts of soap together and make a multicolored ball of soap. And yes, it did work. So now I have a pink and green ball of squishy soap. Guys, wait. A couple quick notes before you go. When you want to use your squishy soap, take off a little piece. I think I mentioned that earlier. I would not put the whole ball into water. Think about it. Most of this is cornstarch. So if you put all of this into water, it's probably going to disintegrate pretty quick and you aren't going to have soap to use for long. So break off a little piece and use that when you go to wash your hands, okay? And the other thing I want to say is a thank you to the website where I got the idea. So that website is mamapapabubba.com. I will put that down in the info below. But this was a wonderful and very fun craft, and so I want to give credit where it's due. Thank you very much to them. That's it. Go, have fun, wash your hands, use your squishy soap, or just, this is too much fun. Or just use it as a stress ball. If that works, you'll have a nice clean stress ball to use. All right, thanks guys. Enjoy your squishy soap.